Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today we got our college football preview as we're going to preview the Ohio State Buckeyes. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me today to break down the Ohio State Buckeyes from an offensive and defensive standpoint is two gentlemen that know all about football. The first gentleman, he coached in Clayton County here in Atlanta metro area. He's coached at Mount Zion High School, Riverdale High School, Lovejoy High School in Dutchtown, my man, Kevin the Bull Jones. Then the second gentleman, I call him the legend. He played at a high level at Florida State University. He's a first-round draft pick of the Atlanta Falcons in the 1981 draft. 25th selection overall, my man, Bobby Butler. So sit back and enjoy the video today. If you like the video, please come in and share it as we're getting ready to break down the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coach Jones, let's get this party started.
Well, at the end of the day, Ohio State University has had a great 5-year run of football success. They have not only taken the top players out of Ohio and the Northwest, but they have also, in the Midwest, they've also come down south and wreaked havoc and getting one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever come through the state of Georgia in Justin Fields. And for the last couple of years, they've had one of the top quarterbacks to play at Ohio State University for Buckeye Nation, or should I say the Ohio State University, as Vincent Turner would like to say. Now, here's the thing. They have had so much success, and they even had the head coaching change situation happen with Coach Day coming in for Coach Meyer. And still, they didn't miss a beat. They still made it to the playoffs and had a tough go at it, playing in the playoffs this year. But at the end of the day, they made it. Okay, even with a coaching change, and even though Coach Day was still previously on staff, still it's a new person in charge giving signals for leadership, and that's a very big thing for seniors, for junior underclassmen, and so there was a great job by the Buckeye Nation of having some continuity and fluidity in their football program of success. And then when you have the gunslinger back there, Justin Fields. Folks, I'm so happy that he got a chance to exercise his athletic attributes to be the best football player he could be. Know his father from here in the metro Atlanta area, watched Justin when he was a little kid. Actually, Justin was a heck of a baseball player, okay? And his sister was also a heck of an athlete, but know his dad very well. Dad used to always talk about him. I didn't recognize Justin was going to be all that till he got really, really tall, which ain't hard passing by me. But when he was 6'1", I said, uh-oh. I told his father, you might have some situation going on here because he looked like he's sprouting up like weed. Well, at the end of the day, 6'3", 220 pounds, 25 pounds. People don't realize this coming out of Harrison High School, but he was also a top baseball prospect. Okay, nobody, people don't talk about it, but he was. That just talks about how great of an athlete he was. He was at UGA, didn't work out well, but great thing about the transfer portal, but NC2A put in place and allowed him to breathe life into going somewhere else and being successful. So let's check the boxes for him. He did everything he could do, plus some. No, he didn't have to shatter records. Dwayne Haskins has records there. He didn't have to go in and shatter records. He just went in there and kept the optimum level of performance at the quarterback position. And as a coach, that's what you want. You want a guy who's confident, and that's exactly what he did. He came in, he learned the system. He took Ohio State, Buckeye Nation, to a game before the national championship game. I don't think that's bad at all. Matter of fact, I think it's great. Here's the situation that he's running into now. He's only got 6 starters coming back with him on offense, including him, and he's got 3 on defense. Now, what does that do for the Buckeye Nation? That means those other new guys have got to step up and be great football players immediately. Now, once again, we talk about schools having 5-star, 4 stars, 4 stars as backups, things of that nature. Okay, Buckeye Nation falls into that category. They have great players that are 4 stars and 5 stars that are playing in a reserve role their first year, and then next thing you know, they take off and you never heard of them on the collegiate level until they actually got in the game and they showed out. So this is what Buckeye Nation has going for. They have 6 players coming back on offense. Dobbins is gone. J.K. Dobbins is gone. Great running back for the Buckeye Nation. Okay, he's gone. You do have Fleming coming back as a receiver, who was at one time, Chris Olave, the receiver, had 49 receptions, 17 yards per catch, 12 TDs. He's a good person to have coming back to that prolific offense. And folks, they put points up everywhere. Okay. And that mastery of offense is what's going to keep them alive and be in the championship run again this fall. So even though they only have 3 starters coming back on defense, they're going to make it work with those kids, and they're going to have some people make some great plays. Yes, they lost 3 starters in the secondary. And you know how I feel about the defensive side of the ball, Vincent and Bobby. That's a tough place. Defense wins championships, so they say. You know, that's the old cliche. But you better be able to put up 21, 20, 27 points a game on the offensive end. So they lost 3 guys in the secondary. And I tell you what, Okuda, first-round draft pick. Okay, it is what it is. He was sensational. The one they have coming back is Sean Wade, is the only returning starter in the secondary. But best better believe there'll be some people that were waiting in the ranks to step up. You know, they learned to develop the Buckeye Nation way, and now they're ready to take their place on the throne of being successful on Saturday afternoons, at about 6, 7, 8 o'clock, somewhere in that area. Okay, now here's what they do have. They have Wyatt Davis and Josh Myers coming back on the offensive line. Okay, so Davis is projected to be one of the top offensive linemen in the country. Okay, did a heck of a job this past season. Prolific ground game, multi-purpose guy that can play all the positions. And at the end of the day, they average 46 points a game. So that tells you that something happened right for the Buckeye Nation. 46 points a game. If you take the top 5 teams in the nation, the scoring offenses, and you try to find out how many scored 46 points in the game, that's just unheard of. You only had 3 that went for over 40 points a game. So that should tell you something about the top 5. One thing I like, guys, about this year's group is Coach Day made a great move in the coaching part. And you know that's what I love to talk about, coaching aspect of things. They brought back Kerry Coombs. Okay, Kerry Coombs was a former defensive back coach, corners. He coached the cornerbacks. Okay, he coached from 2012 to 2017. So he had some first-round draft picks too, Bobby. Mm-hmm. So he knows his thing about that. So he went up to the Titans, Tennessee Titans, went and got NFL money, and made that big-time money coaching on Sunday afternoons at 1 o'clock. But here's the thing. He came back. Now he's defensive coordinator. Okay, so now you have a familiar face with the program, the administration, the followers of the Buckeye Nation. You got some people that feel comfortable about someone in their family who came back home. And that means a lot because, you know, once you get to the NFL and you coach, sometimes you don't have to worry about all of those off-field things to deal with, such as recruiting, being on the road all the time in the spring, being on the road all the time in the fall. So he decided to, in lieu of the great time he was having in the NFL, he decided to come back to the collegiate ranks, come on back home to Ohio State. So I think that's going to be a plus because there'll be some familiarity spoken in those meeting rooms. And here's the big thing, guys. That's the big thing when you talk about college coaches, commanding your troops in the meeting room so that when you get on the field, everything is fast flow and there's a comfort level of what you're about to do and how you're about to do it. Doesn't matter if you're a 4-star, 5-star, 3-star. But when that kid has the ability to play fast without thinking, that it allows for him to have more success on the field on Saturday afternoons around 6, 8 o'clock, prime time. So at the end of the day, I think that one of the greatest attributes of this program going forward is bringing him back into the flow and letting him be able to talk to those. And those being that they lost 3 starters in the secondary, now he's coming in to coach the secondary as well as be the defensive coordinator. So there'll be some common denominators being there for those players in that meeting room. Like I said, we all like to think that it's definitely physical, and it is, but the mental part of the game on the collegiate level is everything. You know, you see that defensive player who in high school, he was the best player in the nation, best player on the field. No one else like him, looked like Superman. Well, when he gets to Ohio State, he's got other great players around him. So now it's about a mindset. Everybody, it's like that fish. You got 4 fingers and a thumb. You got to put it all together. And I think approaching it for Coach Day this fall, there's going to be some struggles now. There will be some struggles because they have to go on the road. They got to go to Oregon, and that's early. Got to go up to Oregon, okay? They got to go to Michigan State, and they got to go to Happy Valley. They got to go to Penn State, play football this year. And I tell you what, that's tough. That's tough for anybody, you know. And even, and of course, knowing that Michigan State now has a new head coach in Mel Tucker. So now you got to get fluid in what's happening with that program. But at the end of the day, they had some key people gone, and now they have to replace them. They received the Fleming kid I mentioned earlier, Julian Fleming, one of the top receivers in the nation, came out in 2020 recruiting class. Expect him to get some early playing time. You watched him on video. He's all that in the bag of chips. So just understand, and that's just reminiscent of Buckeye Nation. Right. They always are going to grab some top players, top 3 players in the nation. Keep this in mind, guys. Whatever position it is, you best better believe Ohio State is recruiting. Okay? Which means in some cases, Ohio State will sign one, Clemson will get the other, and you know who will get the third one. So it happens that way. Okay? But at the end of the day, you know, I had to throw it in there. At the end of the day, Ohio State is going to be a transition year only because they're going to have to replace some key parts on the defensive side of the ball. And as good as they were offensively, guys, and their whole defensive line is gone. That's tough. Okay, let's just keep it real. That's tough. You know, yes, everybody talked about Chase Young, but there were other guys on the defensive line that were married partners in that success. Okay, and allowed Chase to make great plays, and then they made the great plays. They just didn't get all the notoriety. But you and I know in the last couple of draft picks, they had Boza, came out of Ohio State. I mean, they've had great players, and they will continue to have great players. But watch this. I see them having a tough season now. It's going to be tough for them to get to 10 wins. They're going to get right there at 10, probably get to 10, you know, but it's going to be tough. It won't be as easy. They might rely a lot on Justin Fields. And you know when he gets the ball, it's going to be showtime at the Ohio State.
Brother Butler.
All right, Coach. That's a great job. Justin Fields, in my opinion, is the second best quarterback in the United States. All right. He's 1 or 2. The number 1 guy, they're both from the state of Georgia. Old Sunshine up there in South Carolina. But here's what I like about their offense, Coach. Even though they got, you know, just 6 guys returning, you mentioned the Fleming kid at wide receiver that's going to help them tremendously. Remember, we always say, wide receivers and running backs are what? A dime a dozen.
Dime a dozen.
This is the Ohio State. This is Buckeye Nation. They got people in there. Yeah. Right? They got people. I promise you, they got people. They're not going to miss a beat. Chris Olave played well, just short of 1,000 yards receiving. He's going to be Justin's go-to guy. They got a great tight end, but he's a great blocking tight end, right? Okay. They're not going to use him as much in the passing game, but he adds to that great offensive line that I believe is the best offensive line in college football.
Right.
Right? So there's those guys, Thayer, Mumford, Wyatt Davis, and Josh Myers, those guys have been playing a long time. They got time in.
Right.
All right. And so they're going to be great. Wyatt Davis was an All-American this past year. Talk about his body of work. So they're going to find a running back. They're going to pound the ball, and then play actually down the field with Justin. And remember one thing about Justin Fields. He's just not a throwing quarterback. He will hurt you with his feet.
That's right.
He's a threat quarterback. Don't forget that. But because of the athletes he had around him last year, he really didn't have to do that so much.
Right. That's correct.
But we don't know what he's going to do this year. He might have to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I like their offense. I like the things that are going to happen on the side of the offense. They got a great quarterback, great leader, running backs, receivers down a dozen, great offensive line play. It's going to be good for them on that end of the ball. Defensive end. All right. Now, I got to say this, right? They lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
We talk about Chase Young. They had the Butler brothers the last few years. So they've had those three guys.
Right.
I want you to think about that. That's crazy. Both number one is with the Chargers. Both number two is with the 49ers. And then Chase Young. Both Bozos together, right? And so, so you got that, but Jonathan Cooper, I think it's his time.
Gotcha.
He got hurt and had the slowest roll. He's a captain. He was redshirted. He's in his 5th year. He's in a key spot for Ohio State to make something happen. You think about it. When you come from a defense that's got all those guys, the history in the last few previous years, and you're the next one up, and you've been an extra year, he gonna show out. I'm gonna get big things out of him. And then our cornerback, Sean Wade, he's the next first rounder to come out of there.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's going. He's going. Matter of fact, he could have came out this year and possibly got in the first round to the early second round, just playing the nickel.
Yes.
Not even a full-time corner player. He's that good. So he's going to be exceptional. And then at linebacker, they got a guy who's been a 3-time captain at Ohio State. It's only the second time this has ever been done. I want you to listen to his name. Linebacker. His name is Tough Borland.
Woo.
Tough.
That's tough.
What? Hey, he been thumped on the head since he been born. He ready. All right, he ready. All right? And so then you add Pete Warner to that. Now, Pete Warner is a special player. He's an athletic player. He's a 3-down linebacker. We don't have to take him out the game. Last year, they backed him up and played him at safety.
Yep.
So now we're talking about a guy who got some athleticism. And let's remember this now. We talk about Alabama. We talk about Clemson. We talk about all these schools. Because of where they are right now, they are reloading every year.
Every year.
Ohio State will not miss a beat. Ohio State will be one of those Final Four.
Whoa.
They're going to be in the Final Four. I'm telling you right now. And I'm telling you, they got a tough schedule.
Yes.
But at the end of the year, that scheduling is going to put them in the top 4, and they're going to do work. I can't wait to see them play. I think Justin Fields is a great leader. I think we haven't even seen the upside. He played so well last year. I don't think we've even seen a glimpse of him yet. And so with that said, I got Ohio State going to the college playoff.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, great information on Ohio State. It's no question about it. When I look at the Ohio State Buckeyes, first and foremost, to me, I got to give kudos to Ryan Day. We didn't know what Ryan Day was about last year. Everybody was still talking about Urban Meyer. Could Ryan Day handle the job? He came in and showed the nation that he's the real deal. Now, we all know about Justin Fields. Can I say this? To Dog Nation, this is no shot. But I know right now, y'all kind of looking yourselves in the mirror and say, oh, my God, I made a mistake. Because to me, Justin Fields coming into this year is the best player in college football. What did he have last year? 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And coming in as a first-year starter in a program that didn't recruit him, this year he's going to be the man. And to me, Ohio State still got a lot of offensive firepower, as y'all gentlemen mentioned. The young man out of the state of Texas was a freshman last year, Garrett Wilson. He's going to become that guy. Julian Fleming was the #1 recruit in the country last year, wide receiver. But this is what's going to really make Ohio State dangerous from an offensive standpoint. And I'm surprised at y'all gentlemen today. especially you, Coach Jones, and you, Bobby Butler. Both of y'all coach high school football at a high level. Bobby, your son was one of the top receivers in the country. How do y'all not remember that about a month ago, 2 months ago, that Ohio State is saying Trey Sermon, Sprayberry High School?
Yeah.
I'm mad at y'all today.
They did.
Coach Jones, how good was he in high school?
They stole him. They came out here and stole him.
They did a great job of sneaking in the back door and picking him up, putting him in the van.
Oklahoma, and that's going to make Justin Fields one hell of a football player.
Right.
Now, for Ohio State, for them to get back in the college football playoffs, it's going to be a defense. Can they replace Chase Young? Can they replace Malik Harrison? Can they replace Jeff Okudah? We talking about the D-line, no question about it. They've had the Bosa brothers, Chase Young, Tariq Lewis. They've had some studs. But I'm telling you, last year he was a freshman, laying in the woods. Zach Harrison is going to be the next big guy, to me personally. Okay. The linebacker position to replace Malik Harrison, I'm going with Byron Browning, another guy in the state of Texas. He's been there 3 years. It's his time to shine. And in the secondary, let me tell you something. Remember this name, Cameron Brown. Is going to be the next big thing in corner along with Sean Wade. They put it together. The Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be back in the college football playoffs. And that being said, when you got a player like Justin Fields, baby, the way you walk and talk actually sets me off to a long time. Yes, he does. Oh. Famous Ohio players, Justin Fields is going to set college football off at a high level this year. The young man out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Yes, if you like the video today, please come in and share it. We are 100 Yards for Football. I'm Vincent Turner, Kevin, the Bull Jones, Bobby Butler, greatness. If you like the video, please come in and share it. And we'll see you next week. And to the Buckeye Nation, my two gentlemen, how do they pronounce the Ohio State Buckeyes? Take us home. What?
The Ohio State
Buckeyes. One more time. What?
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
God bless. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.